Welcome to Proletariat News. I'm your host, Wayne. It's the news for the working class. The number one resource for the bourgeoisie to see what the working class are thinking about. This is just an idea I'm working on, but as you know, in Karl Marx, there's two groups of society, the rich and the poor. And the rich are called the bourgeoisie, and the poor, the working class, who only have their labor, are the proletariat. And we really should have news coverage based on these principles. Right now, mainstream media has multimillionaires talking as working class. There is actually no news station that represents the working class. None. Imagine a news station where the news hosts are paid $25,000 a year. Doesn't exist. They're all multimillionaires. And so they have a multimillionaire mindset. They've completely lost touch with what it's like to actually be a working class citizen in this open air prison called America. And soon the poor will have nothing left to eat but the bourgeoisie. I think they've outlawed cannibalism, but because I bet you human flesh is fucking delicious. It could be fucking delicious. Some people have said that human flesh is fucking delicious. So if they keep cutting our wages and cutting our resources and cutting our civil rights, soon the poor will have nothing left to eat but the bourgeoisie. Yeah, I think this is actually a nice observation. There is no working class news. There isn't. They should have guests on the show. Today we have Sally from large retailer Walmart. Where we could have average people talking about what it's like to be a slave. It's like the slave news channel. Don't let the sound of their chains bother you. We're getting real world opinion from real world slaves. If you want to get in contact with the rich, just hang out in front of the expensive restaurants where they eat dinner. That's how the mafia killed a lot of people. Get them when they're eating dinner. Well, Dream Boy, would you resort to cannibalism in a post-apocalyptic situation? What do they say about food? Don't knock it till you try it. I think Alex Jones is right. Your neighbor would eat you. There's the movie called Alive, where a Argentina soccer team airplane crashed with the team into a mountain, and they were stranded, and they ended up eating some of the dead people to survive. And I think it's just, quite frankly, human nature to do that. If it's survival, you're going to be nibbling on some of that leftover meat. It's not anything I'm interested in trying right now. But cannibalism has been around on Earth for a really long time. Here's what we know about cannibalism. Humans are edible. It's not like some repulsive meat that people are just, it went out of fashion because they just hate the taste of it, like deer. Like, I don't like the taste of deer. it's got just it's too gamey for me. Too much organic. I hear horse tastes good. I hear bear meat tastes good. I haven't tried any of that. Not really interested. Lamb is pretty yummy. Beef is yummy. Pork is yummy. Chicken is yummy. Part of me thinks God made animals taste yummy. Lobster? Are you kidding me? With some butter and salt? I'll eat those bugs all day long. So there was a good question today. Let me read it here. What is the CIA? And I said the CIA is a front for a religious global mafia hell-bent on global fascism with religious management. Too long didn't read Jewish Fascism by Goyim. So the Goys do all the work for their overlords. Yeah, that's what the CIA is. Well, let's talk about the success of my solar today. I enjoyed nearly 4 hours of non-interrupted air conditioning, and it was really nice. It was 95 outside and 82 inside. Hey, Greek, and hello, Big Brain. And the air conditioning was, I started it at noon, and I think well, at 4:30 it turned off, and the solar panels needed to be moved quite a lot. And then it turned off another half hour, and I realized that the angle of the panels is not perpendicular to the sun. And so I can fix this two ways. Well, there's one way I'm going to fix it, which is just adding more electricity to the system. Now that I learned my 60-volt panels are secretly 28 volts, which is 24 volts, that works with a 24-volt system is what I'm saying. Now that I've learned so my solar panels, I suspect when they built them, there's a little black box on the back, and there's 7 leads. One side's the positive, one side's the negative. And on one configuration, it's 28 volts. Another one, it's 60 volts, 48 volts, 7 volts. So I'm like, what's up with the weird voltage? And somehow they have wired them to be like this. And here's what I don't know. What I don't know is, am I getting all the capacity out of it on the lower voltage? Am I only accessing a portion of them? It could be. It could be like the solar panel is, let me draw it. So the solar panel's like this. If maybe this mount is 7 volts and then the electricity's on this end. So going this way, that wire that gives me 24 volts, it might just be that sector. Then the 36 volts is this sector, and 28 volts is this sector and all that. And then 60 volts is the whole thing. I just don't know. And I actually don't have to care. I only need it to work. So, good morning, Big Brain Content. Good morning. I got 10 more panels that I can pull out and wire up and probably achieve the results I'm looking for. That's number one. Number two, I'm going to buy a current meter. current is another word for amperage, and that is the volume of electricity. There's one called volts, and they use these water metaphors. Uh, Amps and current is the how thick the pipe is, which can deliver more water. And voltage is the pressure of the water. Is it just dribble out or does it shoot really far? Further water shooting would be volts, more volts. Dribbling water would be low volts. And a small pipe would just be drops, but a big pipe would just be a big flood of water. Hello, Ralph. Welcome to Bourgeoisie News. News for the working class. Man, it was such a luxury today just being in air conditioning, and I was also savoring the fruits of my labor today. Like, I've worked so hard to get to this point in time. Like, I've built my shelter, I got a R19 insulation on the roof. I got 2 walls with walls up, no air no air God, no insulation on them except for the air gap, and that is a type of insulation to begin with. Then I got the heat shield on the roof, which makes a huge difference. By the time it's noon, that heat shield is it casts a shadow on this wall. Half of it is in shadow all day long. So what a beautiful achievement that is. Yeah. Big Brain Content says, interesting. I guess you would have to look and see what the paths actually are. I would guess that various configurations still use all the cells, just in more series configurations or more parallel configurations. I'm actually thinking that also. Big Brain Content, here's what I think. When they make the solar panel, that box at the back is configurable. So they're like, oh, this one's a 60 volt and this one's a 48 volt. So depending on the voltage purchased by the consumer, that's how they wire it. That makes the most sense to me. So the assembly line just makes one solar panel with 7 leads coming off the back. 4 positive and 3 negatives. I don't know why that's like that, but maybe I will find out the answer because one of my solar panels, it appears to be kaput because the glass is totally broken off and gone, and some of the silver wires are pulled up. So maybe I'll be able to use that as a carcass to do an autopsy and find out the answer. Space shuttle video has a lot of compression artifacts. Okay. Let me put my transmitter higher in the air. Yeah. That should do it. Oh yeah, we're on 5G now. Now we're on 5G. This should get a lot better. Oh, fuck. I could have sometimes like Facebook is running. Like, let me just give a shout out to say I fucking hate Facebook. Oh. YouTube is running. Almost, friends. All right. That should make things better. That should make things better. Is there 3 cells? There's like 50 cells, Ralph. It's a whole grid. The solar panel itself is 5 foot by 4 foot. Yeah. Oh, nice. I scored some R13 insulation for free on Craigslist from an Arabian man. Right on. There was some insulation for free recently, and I didn't get it because I didn't want to have all that loose fiberglass in the inside of my Mercedes. It would just be there forever. Every time I had a small itch, it's probably that fucking insulation. Ralph, I actually don't know the answer, and so that's one promise I will always give you, my friends. I give it to everybody. If I don't know the answer, I'll just say I just don't know. I'll say there's a strong possibility it could be this way, something like that. Mitigated feelings, but I don't say I know something when I don't. What I do know is this is the circuit on the inside of the solar panel, and this side's negative. So I was incorrect. The negative had 4 leads, and the positive had 3 leads. And I thought that these things here were transistors. They're actually diodes. And so the diodes are necessary for something called reverse charging. If you have solar panels connected to a battery at night, it will suck electricity out of the battery. And the middle is the negative, and the 2 outsides are positives. So electricity goes in towards both sides and it comes out the middle. That's the one-way gate. And I just learned that there are 3-pin diodes. I never knew they existed until yesterday. And these are T033 diodes. Could you get the model? Maybe there's a better way to get more juice out of it. Well, I'm not going to worry about that right now, Ralph. And the answer is yes. I probably could get the schematic. The company is right here. Schott, Schott Solar. And I think on my Instagram or my Twitter, there's some photos of the model number and such. I don't have time for that. What I do have time for is to drag those big fuckers around and wire them up on the 24-volt system and just throw it into the equation right now. You lose power every night, right? No, I don't. Because I don't have batteries right now. My batteries are not working. And I'm not losing power at night because solar doesn't work at night. So it's not losing power when the sun goes down because that's how it works. My batteries are under warranty with Walmart, and they're a 2-year warranty. So I think they know the batteries are shit, that they go bad in a year, and they hope you don't come back for the other year. And that way they don't have to give you that 2nd-year battery. But in my case, I'll get that 2nd-year battery, and then they'll be like, no more batteries, bitch. You're out of here. These will last another 1.5 years, which is that at night, if when the sun went down, those batteries were fully charged. At night, the solar panels do something called reverse charge, and so they suck electricity out, and they deplete the available electricity in the battery. How much? I don't know exactly the performance numbers. I don't. It's not good though. That's why they built this circuit into the panel. This is actually a really beautiful circuit. I've got 2 panels where this baby is fucking crispy as toast. It's all burnt and turned to ash. I don't know why that happened. However, the glass is cracked on all of them, like shattered. And so water got in there. So I just suspect that water shorted some things out during a rain. You need some moon cells. Well, that's cute. Well, what I need is wind. Wind works at night, and radiant energy from Nikola Tesla. And Nikola Tesla has a patent called radiant energy. Let me get it for you. Tesla radiant patent. I love that I can say something and within like literally 60 seconds have the link, have the data. We're living in a glorious world. Like literally my show it's news, it's entertainment, it's education. You have a meter you could set up to see how much stuff is pulling from the batteries. I don't. I could buy a current draw meter. I just don't own one yet. I do have a multi-drop. I think it works. I warranty on the tools. They might not warranty electric stuff. I don't know. I got some small bolt cutters, and it put a big chip in the teeth, like the first time I used them. So, and I got a set of long bolt cutters. I use the bolt cutters for, well, all thread. I think that's why I bought some chain, and that's before I had that angle grinder. An angle grinder is a nice way to cut through chain also. Anyways, I'm excited. I had a really successful day when it comes to air conditioning. And friends, this summer, we are going to get some data. Like maybe I get a Raspberry Pi, that little computer, and I get some temperature sensors and I do some logging. And we log 24 hours a day, the temperature outside and the temperature inside. And then we log when the air conditioner's on and how much current I'm using. And we log how much current I'm charging the batteries, and we get all this data. We could have like a whole year's worth of interesting data to look at. I'm sure some people feel like jumping out a window hearing that, but other people might be like, that's kind of cool, Wayne. Brody, hi, Wayne. Hi, Ralph. Hi, Brody. Hope you're doing well. I'm kind of liking, well, I prefer to talk to you guys later at night because I think some of the audience was watching other shows and 9 o'clock was a good slot for me, maybe. But with my battery problem, anyways, I'm going to sleep earlier. Yeah. Big brain. Yeah, hell yeah. I need to set up some data collection for my garden. I'm going to put an automated irrigation this year with an Arduino Nano. Right on. Yeah, there's water, there's digital moisture sensors. So you could put moisture sensors at each plant if you wanted, and then you could put a drip line to every plant, just a straight line with a valve controlled by the computer. And when the moisture reaches a threshold, you could say dump 5 ounces of water right now. Beep. Do you guys, I don't know if you've been watching my stream, but I was going to create something called Garden Buddy. And it was a little GPS based robot. Imagine like a big tote on wheels, and it would drive around your garden and water your plants. Your plants had a QR code, or you drove the robot and hit enter. This is the location of the plant. And then you move the water wand and water the plant and say, remember, the wand is at this GPS. So then the computer would be like moving the wand to the GPS stop. Now 5 seconds of turning the pump on. They got a robot farmer thing similar. Oh, interesting. Well, good. Hey, Katie, Bulldog Mom, welcome. We're talking about gardening. I thought about making cannabis growing software for the cannabis industry because everybody thinks it's easy. It's actually extremely hard when you're trying to get huge yields. Like, it's a tomato plant. Yeah, you can get 5 or 6 tomatoes. How do you get 500? Grow tomatoes professionally, and they get hundreds of tomatoes per plant. It's gods. I don't like collaboration clock. Oh, I can't make it today. Oh, I knew you couldn't make it. Well, how'd you know that? Because you're a giant pussy. People just let me down. Like, either you're going to lift weights or you ain't. Relying on, having a workout buddy just has never worked for me because they don't have as much passion as I do to keep a commitment. So, I mean, I should say I am collaborating with this guy named David, and David might be as rich as me someday. Like, I'm splitting the money with David on Tastier. Like, if we cash out on Tastier for $10 million, I'm giving him $5 million. What did he do? Not much, except he's collaborating with me. So the door's open for anybody who wants to take a risk. I told David today that that I'm thinking of starting a domain marketplace to sell domain names. And yes, of course, I know they exist. And I'm going to build something that doesn't exist, which is a domain marketplace for inexpensive domains under $200. No high price domains, budget domains. Well, why would you sell a domain for 200 when you could get 1,000, Wayne? Okay, well, that's a valid argument. The answer is, I don't want to sit on a domain for that. Like, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. So my friend Brian and we had this idea about a year and a half ago, and then he wussed out. He started building it, got it nearly working, and then he has a performance anxiety. He's like a man. Oh yeah, baby, I'll fuck you all night long. Oh, you're gonna love my dick. After we're done fucking, you're gonna feel like you've been riding a horse for 2 weeks. You're gonna be bow-legged for days. My cock is going to be so big, it's going to leave you with a void. You're going to feel for the rest of your life. Oh, I'm such a good lover. And then she's like, let's try it. He's like, oh, I can't. I was just kidding. He's got performance anxiety. Anyways, he and we'd be drinking coffee and we'll come up with domain names and we're like, yeah, that's awesome. We're going to be rich. And then we don't do anything with it. Except the domain names are actually good. But we're not selling them. And so I could probably invent 2 to 3 domain names every day, buy them for $5 to $10 each. And they're so catchy and they're so, let me think of it's a French word. Vox populi. They're so spirit of the times that somebody be like, oh my God, this is such a great domain. For $150, $200, I'm totally buying this. Leave a lot of meat on the bone. And I think we could sell them for $100 to $200 on this website. So that's what I'm thinking about doing is domains under $200. I always thought a gym swingers club porn studio would be a good idea. Oh, that is a good idea. Yeah, like, okay, I love what you're saying there. You're right. Vox populi is probably Latin. Thank you. You're correct. I was wrong. Like, I own the domain name letsgohookup.com. And a gym, how about this? It's a gymnasium, it's a workout center, and then they've got sex rooms. Part of the gymnasium, when you're not working out, there's a place where people it's a swingers club, okay? In San Francisco, there's a swingers club. I nearly went there, but it was a little bit too edgy for me. It's called the Power Exchange, and it's $70, and you go to the Power Exchange, and most likely you're going to have sex. people to be having sex. There's beds, there's couches, and yeah. Pursue pharmaceutical patents and buy site names after new drugs hit the market. That's a great job, a great idea, Katie Bulldog Mom. Well, and also I was going to surf TechCrunch. TechCrunch is always talking about new startups and new stuff. And like right now, everything is AI. How about pizza delivery AI? That's like that almost sounds logical. Like you just need it to be logical, and if it's the right price, somebody's gonna be like, oh, okay, so there's a domain name called dot delivery. So it could be food, instead of food.com, it's food.delivery. And I bought pasta.delivery. Yeah. So I own pasta.delivery. When Greta Thunberg said small dick energy to Andrew Tate, I bought widevaginaenergy.com. I'm an idiot. Like, just like, I'll put that domain up for $100. Like, that would be a fucking hilarious. That's like libs of TikTok. The what? Sounds like wide vagina energy to me. Those Karens gone wild. There was some porn star recently, and she was shaming some other man. She said, they paid me to have sex with him, and he fucked me for an hour and he couldn't even come. Well, little did she know, she opened herself up for a lot of ridicule. They're like, her pussy was probably as wide as a vagina. You could park a school bus in there. Oh, I really should be a comedian. Comedy is the last place you can just almost get away with anything. There's an episode of Larry David and his friend, the one who's married to Susie. I forget his name, but I think he was like single for a while, or they were talking about somebody else, and somebody said, well, she said he had a small dick. And it's like, whoa, you got to stop this right now. You got to counter that with, she had a big vagina. But Larry David goes like this, she had a big vagina. See if there's .nft domains. Is there? Let me go to I go to porkbun.com. Let me see if there's a .nft domain. Coming up with domain names is so much fun. It's like being part of a writers group. It'd be like, instead of the fox jumped over the fence, they're like, we can make this better. The fox leaped over the fence. They're like, that's better. Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great. Okay, the fox leaped.com. That's much better. And then somebody else is like, the fox bolted over the fence. They're like, oh, that's so much better. Let's buy that one.com also. Like, you start believing your own ideas as good, but actually you're high. Like, you're high on your own ideas. Like, what you should do is write them down. They're like, it's available. We should buy it. Listen, it's been there for 25 years. It'll be there tomorrow morning. If it's still good, if you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my God, I hope it's still there, then buy it. Okay, food. NFT. I'm not even sure if you can buy NFT domains. We're going to find out. I got the radiant energy patent coming. Here it comes. It doesn't look like NFT is a domain name. I'm not There's a .gay domain name and the word food. You can buy food.gay for $55. See? Like literally food.gay. Well, what kind of website is that? Well, it's food for gay people. Well, what's that mean? Well, they're restaurants that are gay friendly. So have you visited food.gay? It's the hottest food for the gay community. AI sex bot domains would be good. Katie, you're right. So I think a lot of us here like buying domain names. We're into it. Like all right, I'm going to log into my pork bun account here and I'll read you what domains I have in here because I've actually forgotten right now. Domain management. I've only got like 5. And sometimes domain names are just they're so emotional and I don't even renew them the next year because I'm like, I was high and I was drunk. I was drunk on my own ideas. Just a little tech crunch here. Lookout sells consumer security segment for $223 million to become pure play enterprise company. I don't even know who Lookout is. Can you see it? Enterprise security company Lookout is selling its consumer cybersecurity business to F-Secure in a $223 million deal. Startup and VC. Graysoft, the self-styled seed to growth venture capital firm, today announced the closing over $1 billion in capital commitments across new funds. Kyle reports the firm's 2 flagship vehicles, Graysoft Partners and Graycroft Growth 5, closed more than $980 million, according to co-founder managing partner Dana Settle. Cash that can be put towards investing in both early and growth stage enterprise and consumer businesses. Interesting. Oh, okay. So I'm going to tell you some of my domain names. Oh, stream's cutting out. Oh, because I was on TechCrunch and Pork Bun. It should be better now. So I've got excuse.pro. That was going to be my new channel because I'm great at making excuses. I've got pasta.delivery. I've got transformershed.com because this building I made, I'm calling it a transformer shed because the shed doubles in size. I can make it triple in size. And then I have Kosher Chan. I'll talk to Daniel. Maybe I'll start Kosher Chan, an image board, my own image board, like 4chan. And then loosepussyenergy.com. All very funny. Oh, I got to read this Tony Robbins meme today. This is just good. If you get caught masturbating and you stop, then you're just a guy who got caught. But if you keep going, then the guy who caught you becomes gay for watching. Success is all about finding the hidden advantage in a negative situation. Tony Robbins. And tastier. Well, tastier, I'm not putting in that pile. Tastier is the new food site. So I'm going to start running a lot of image board sites. Tastier.com is going to be an image board, which I think I'm going to try to turn it into a juggernaut. I'm going to turn my how to get rich. Well, I need to turn howtogetrich.com into a membership based site. So it'll be an image board. Maybe with inexpensive domain names, and then money making conversations. And I need it to be membership based because I think that's the way to sell it for a lot of money. If I get 1 million users, somebody will acquire it for tens of millions of dollars, and because it would have traffic. Then if I can sell it for $10 million, I'm going to give away $3 million. I'm going to give away $1 million randomly to one of the users. Then I'm going to give $100,000 away to 10 users. And then I'm going to give $1,000 to 1,000 users. So there's a pretty good chance a lot of people would make some money just by joining howtogetrich.com, my site. I also own howtoloseweight.com. I should turn that into an image board membership site. Somebody will buy it. Just a place to have weight loss discussion, talk about food and meals. And the problem with weight loss is there's probably a lot of ribbing, a lot of people making fun of fat people in there. Some people could be like really emotional trying to lose weight. Then somebody comes in, says something negative, and that would be upsetting to them. So I don't think I could create a safe place for weight loss people because of internet trolls. Ribs. Yeah, ribs sound good, don't they? Oh man, I told you I've quit eating beef, pork, and chicken because of the mRNA vaccinations they're giving the animals. Well, today I read some horrible news. The Chinese have been able to put mRNA in milk products and deliver a vaccination via milk. I'm like, are you kidding me? Maybe AI Janny's, maybe, but I don't have money for AI. Doesn't AI cost money? Whew. It's only 93 degrees, and it doesn't feel that hot right now. One thing that really helps me out is having icy cold water in my refrigerator. That's next on the agenda, to get a refrigerator with a freezer. I nearly bought a pizza oven. It was was it propane? It might have been wood pellets. It was like a $200 pizza oven. I can't remember if it was propane or pellets, but I'm like, oh, I bet this would be delicious. And but I don't have a way to keep frozen pizzas here. And I wish I did. Fuck being skinny. I'm gonna eat pizzas. No, I want to get in shape. Like if I can get myself back into being low body fat, like my photos, I'll be able to score some woman who's got a retirement. I'm really looking for a school teacher. I'll tell you why I like school teachers, because they've got the patience of a saint. They can deal with all those crazy kids. I mean, most of them do. Also, another benefit of being my age, which is 54, a lot of people are getting divorced or they've been divorced for 5 years or so, and they know what they want, which is not what they used to have. And so they're ready for that last relationship in their life, and they're willing to mostly not settle, but and also compromise. Like, you can't always have it your way. There's a lot of flexibility in relationships, especially. However, there's less flexibility if you're a good match. Like Susie and I are not a good match. Mm-mm. Natalie bought one for you. What are you talking about, Saxton? Saxton, Natalie who? So Saxton, you told me Natalie was your wife, right? And I think you're just a troll. So tell me what's going on, or else I'm going to permanently ban you. Okay? I'm going to give you 1 minute to answer. Assholes. Saxton is probably Cloud Sprout. You know, law enforcement, you really got to look up this guy Cloud Sprout. He's got mental illness. He's seriously, I think he came to my home. Check out his website. His ego is off the hook. All right, Saxton, I'm going to ban you because you're talking about somebody who's not in my life anymore. Mm. I got an ex-girlfriend, and her name was Natalie. We had a good 12 years. She won't talk to me anymore because of the swatting stuff. I feel betrayed by her. However, when a woman doesn't want to talk to me, I have to look at it as a gift from God. God doesn't want me to be in that relationship. If she wanted to talk to me, she knows how to email me. She knows how to contact me. It's her loss, actually. I'm a great guy. Oh man, they got to quit promoting this sheriff from Florida. Mm. All right, I'm going to politically incorrect. We got about 10 more minutes here. Oh, let me go to the reply count. Argentina to pay for imports in Chinese money. ditching the US dollar. Well, thanks, Joe Biden. You really just ruined all of our prosperity, idiot. The neocons have been promoting endless wars. And when you have wars with many of the nations of the world, you look like the bad guy because you are. And now they're pushing New World Order with these ridiculous sexual agendas that nobody wants. And they're like shoving it in people's faces. We've alienated the whole world. Happening. They want to put the mRNA in your beef. Let's read. This is what I've been talking about. Breaking news: the lobbyists for Cattlemen and Pork Association in several states have confirmed they will be using mRNA vaccines in pigs and cows this month. Missouri House Bill 1169, Informed Consent Bill. I think this is an old tweet, but this is what got me worried. Lobbyists for the Cattlemen and Pork Association in several states have confirmed they will be using mRNA vaccines in pigs and cows this month. We must support Missouri HB 1169. It is literally the only chance we have to prevent this. No one knows the impact of doing this, but we're all potentially facing the risk of being died suddenly if we don't stop this. Yeah, Tom Renez, RENZTOM at Twitter. His Twitter again is RENZTOM. Putin had unexpectedly rushed to the Kremlin, and they think it's related to the Turkish Prime Minister Erdogan is his name, maybe. He might have he might have had a heart attack. He might have had myocarditis. Some were saying that it could be a potential poisoning because he just had a meeting with a Russian diplomat. I doubt the Russians would poison him so overtly. New Yorkers are getting pissed at the $1 million a day cost of migrants that Texas is sending them. Suck my big toe, New York. Too bad. Your stupid liberal policies of open borders, you guys need to suffer the consequences. I think Texas should create a concentration camp, which would make the liberals cry buckets of tears. Kids in cages, boo-hoo-hoo. Then they should request gargantuan amounts of money. Hold those. So the Democrats are flooding America with illegals because they want to abuse those people through a type of slavery. They want to have domestic workers. They want to have cheap labor. So Texas can prevent that inexpensive labor from filtering across America by putting them all in concentration camps. And Texas can hold those people as ransom. And they'll say, sorry, America, you're not going to get that cheap labor. We're keeping it all in Texas. And we're going to make these people become American citizens after they get a high school education and learn to speak English through our concentration camp education system. It'll take anywhere from a minimum of 2 to 8 years before they are allowed to exit, including children. And then the liberals will cry so many tears, they'll all be dehydrated. It'll be a great way to fuck Washington, D.C. by holding those immigrants hostage. Then all those immigrants coming from Mexico, they'll be like, don't enter through Texas. They'll put you in a concentration camp and work you like a dog. Then Texas should release videos. Well, first I need to say, release fake videos, but make it look real, like they're under insane humanitarian conditions. Make it look like it makes Nazi concentration camps look cozy. And then they could show like some executions, like fake executions of prisoners who weren't following the laws. Just make it look horrific, but it's all a lie, just to make the liberals seethe. And before you know it, the federal government would pay Texas like $1 million per immigrant to let them loose. These are human people. You know, they've got lots of opportunity, lots of good things in them. Why should Texas share the wealth? Texas is looking at this all wrong. When somebody votes with their feet by coming to America, that's a motivated person. So put them in a concentration camp, give them some work to do, let them get an education, and then release them within like say they can't leave Texas. They got to work at an industry in Texas for a certain amount of years, and that Texas will help them get American citizenship. And then after Texas has been so good to them for 10 years, they can go anywhere they want, but they probably won't want to go anywhere because Texas was good to them. So Texas can give them the education they're seeking, the trade skills they're seeking, and a job, a good paying job and nice living conditions. Texas can really treat these people with dignity instead of New York City people treating them like shit. Except it comes down to leadership. They don't have good leadership or smart ideas to do this because everybody's totally cucked by the blackmail. Texas should secede. They should like open 20 nuclear power plants and sell electricity to the rest of America for pennies on the dollar. Our government fucking us with energy bills like they're doing is ridiculous. You know, America pumps more oil. Like we pump 16 million barrels of oil per day. Saudi Arabia is 10 million barrels of oil per day. So America doesn't sell its oil to our citizens. I mean, some of it does, but they sell our oil all around the world. We should have inexpensive oil, except the government should federalize the oil and put the oil companies in America out of business. I'm sorry, nationalize the oil. The United States of America should nationalize the oil and use that oil only for American interests on American soil. Like Libya, Muammar Gaddafi, gasoline was 10 cents a gallon. But no, the American government is always about abusing its citizens, always about just charging us an arm and a leg. Like look at the medical industry. It's ridiculously expensive. Except who's making the money? It's not it's not necessarily the doctors and nurses. It's just a profit center on human suffering. That shit has to stop. And the way we stop it is with good leadership. Texas should secede from the United States of America. Texas, the state, should nationalize the oil. And then Texas could give Texas citizens gasoline at 10 cents a gallon. But if you're from California driving through Texas, you got to pay normal rates. Wayne, have you thought about building a nuclear reactor in your garage like the other Californians? What makes you think I don't have one? No. I already got a nuclear reactor. It's in the sky called the sun. It's actually not nuclear though. Saw the based. Yeah, I did see the based Elon Musk post today where he said somebody made a new adults attracted to minor flag, and he banned the person. Trash fire enthusiast Wayne, you running in 2024? Yes, I am. You got to join my Lambright. I got a new Twitter account, POTUS Lambright. Erdogan, thank you. Erdogan. We got 8 people here. We're going to have to go a whole nother hour tonight. I'm not hanging this up until we raise $5 tonight. $5. We're talking 100 pennies. Um, 8 into 50. Well, 8 times 7 is 57, and 8 times 6 is 48. So I need like 65 cents from all of you to get my $5. Come on, I'm giving you an hour of sensational news. Sensational. Proletariat news. Like, really, we should start Proletariat news. Imagine it's all budget. Instead of a slick news studio, like the news desk is made out of pallets of wood, wood pallets. The backdrop is reclaimed wood. All the furniture doesn't match because we got it from Craigslist. It's the Proletariat news channel. You can't be on the show if you make more than $50,000 a year. Real news by real poor people. We got to start a working class political group. We really do. I'm being really serious. We need a working class political organization. And I'm not talking communism. I'm just talking working class. If you make under $50,000 a year, you should be part of a new political party. It's We the Poor. Decentralize the media. Decentralizing the media complex is only an inevitable Twitch and streaming. 50,000 a year. Shit. Yeah, wouldn't that be a blessing to make 50,000 a year? I'm really serious. We should start a new political organization for people who make under 50,000 a year, because the Democratic Party and the Republicans, they don't give a fuck about poor people. They don't care about the working class. They care about the Democratic Party only cares about transgenders, gays, lesbians, and the Republicans only care about future rich people. Make an organization that outsources newscasting to local streamers and offer them to get set up with the right equipment or a steady paycheck, instead of depending on stuff like CBS and local news rag. Yeah. Futurist Friend Alliance. I like that, Katie. And Karl Marx had a few things right in that the poor only have their labor. That's all we have to offer is our labor. To Sue Wayne, I don't think federal politics matter anymore. Maybe local, but I'm disillusioned with the whole vote system. Why do you keep using the word vote? You know that's not true. There's no such thing as voting. Being sarcastic here. That company that just sued Fox News made sure there's no honesty in that business. Why is there a multi-billion-dollar company selling voting machines? We need to take the profit out of that. Like, literally, it should be an open source, open hardware machine. Like, local governments buy a Raspberry Pi, something like that. They installed Linux on it, and it's all open source. We shouldn't have proprietary voting systems. It's not that hard, goddammit. It's just a list of like 10 or 20 people or 10 or 20 initiatives with vote for it or don't vote for it. There doesn't, well, we need to get the count really quickly. No, we don't. Maybe we count them slowly. Like literally, we should just go back to paper ballots. I'm going to say I think there's some fraud involved in the voting process in America. And we don't have politicians with enough moral fiber to do proper investigations. I hear in Arizona they just found like 800 new ballots for that Kathy lady. Yeah. All right. So on the fundraising idea, my Cashapp is in the comments below. And coming up this Friday, I have not received a donation for 3 weeks. Not one. And you guys know I'm committed to this. Either you like me for politics or you like me for humor. We got to keep this show going. Just in, U.S. House passes bill to increase the debt limit by $1.5 trillion. There ain't no brakes on this train. Of course, they were always going to increase the national debt. Uh-oh. I'm getting the beep. The electricity is going. I don't know if you can hear it. Oh, let me turn off their fridge. I'll be right back. We can squeeze somewhere. I turned off the fridge and the water pump in the pool. And I don't need the electricity on the charging of the laptop either. Russian aviation is leveling Yar with guided bombs, 1,500 kilogram guided bombs. Okay. Why can't teachers be themselves? Nobody on the left is talking about wanting to groom kids like the far right claim. They just want to be able to express themselves the same way cis people do. You wouldn't call it grooming for a male teacher to have a picture of them with their wife. How about teachers don't bring their sex life to work at all, straight or gay? Like I had teachers in school as anybody else did. I don't know if they were married. I don't know if they had children. Who they are outside the classroom doesn't matter. You're there to learn a discipline, something, math, English. This whole thing about it's sex. Sex shouldn't enter the classroom. Sex should be left out of, people will learn about sex when school's over. They got to just quit talking about sex. It's really stupid. But it's a way to control the conversation. That's all they're trying to do. The liberal media is just trying to control the narrative. Okay, we won't talk about sex. And then they talk about sex. So they just love, basically the liberal media are the ultimate trolls. They don't respect other people. This is just bombastic. It's like, this won't last forever. It's going to get a little bit worse before it gets better, though. I do think we're at the day when we're going to see, even though our little community here on my show every day is 6 people to 10 people. I think the future is going to be little shows like this, where people just have honest conversations. Hopefully they don't shut us down. It's like we're just prisoners in this world and we're not allowed to have conversations. I'm going to drink some coffee here. Again, vote with your dollars. Quit buying new products. If the system doesn't make money, the system won't exist. The way to beat the rich is to quit giving them money. Like, quit eating at fast food. Make your food from scratch. America 100 years ago, which would be 1920. Actually, there was a lot of consumer products then. Go back 150 years ago. People had to do nearly everything, almost everything themselves, especially when it came to food. Of course, there were bakers, like the harder things, baking bread. But there was a lot of pride in making cookies and pies and pastries, and food was the center of the family. And you need a family to make that food. There's a lot of preparation involved. And now delicious food is made and you can buy it frozen. It's not as healthy as the other food, but it tastes good. And so they've replaced the feeling of a family with a box of food from the frozen section, except that's artificial. So if you want to take back America and build families, make food, make cookies, make cakes. There's relationship building in the kitchen when you're spending 3 hours on a cake and icing and you're baking it. What are you doing, Mom? Oh, I'm making a chocolate cake with a vanilla icing. Can I help? Yeah. Get the mixing bowl. Get me 2 eggs. Get the powdered sugar. Get the sifter. And then you're doing it together in the kitchen and you're having, how was your day? Oh, it was good. Can I lick the bowl? Sure. So families that do things together stay together. They don't want us to stay together. They want us separated so everybody can be manipulated and abused. And that's pretty much where we're at right now. So if you want to fight back, quit buying their products. For you to buy them. Makes the cookies there and they're delicious. Across the counter they're making the cookies every other day. And they're super delicious. So, but Bitcoin had a big drop today. This was an exchange in it might have been Japan, and 2 or 3 years ago it went bust. And I'm not exactly sure the details, but somehow there's been legal proceedings and the money that was in the account has been held, and a lot of a big flood of Bitcoin riches, apparently. Difficult for them. Yeah. They really should in the then has the nerve to charge us interest on that money. It's insanity. It'd be like going to bank and saying, I need $100,000. They're like, well, did you bring paper? I did. Well, give us the paper. And then they print money on the paper and they say, well, here's your money. Now that'll be 10% interest. just out of thin air. They just print them. It's fabricated out of thin air. Trump just called for treason charges. He pointed out that 51 intelligent, but we don't have a Justice Department that's willing a state, our peaceful America. A nation can't live much longer under these conditions. And elections, I talk about elections. They'll shut down my YouTube channel. They say that that I might be questioning election integrity. No, I'm not, because I'm not talking about it. Of course the king has clothes on. I never said the king was naked. The other guy did. The Japanese had the Japanese were trying to land something on the moon and it crashed. I would love that. Vladimir Putin on a walker with it's got an old lady, but its head's on it. It's a meme. I promise I will use nuclear weapons. And the caretaker's like, okay, Vlad, let's get you to bed. Russia threatens West with nuclear weapons as former president warns of World War III. The Kremlin has issued a warning that Russia may use nuclear weapons first as a threat against the West. Dmitry Medvedev, the former president and deputy head. Yeah. Let me read that meme to you because I got it right here. This is not a bluff. Sure, Vladimir, let's get you to bed. That's where we're at right now. Celebrate departure of Tucker Carlson from Fox. Some people have hypothesized that they want to promote a war with Russia and that Tucker Carlson was oppositional to it and he would have too much of an influence to prevent it from happening. So with Tucker being let go, they think that they're going to promote a war with Russia. I do think our Pentagon wants another war. The military industrial complex wants a war. Yeah. It's over. And a proxy war in Ukraine that met allies banned in Brazil for it's t.me/Wayne Lambright. Copy. Telegram close. Buffering. Well, because I went to Telegram. So we should be okay now. Thank you. My laptop fan is on. It could be overheating. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, hold on a second here. We have a stick in there. So, let's see what it's at. And he would debunk people without getting flustered. But then that changed. Yeah. Well, Trump is falling into the trap of caring what the mainstream media says. Mainstream liars. Like the mainstream media is like a mentally ill, drunk person, homeless, who hangs out at the corner and he's always there and he poops there. And you ask him for advice. Why would you ask him for advice? You wouldn't, because he's crazy. So going back to the same crazy TV station and acting like they're telling the truth makes you crazy. The best thing you can do is ignore. Why do most women deny sex to males? Children are very expensive, and it's not easy for the woman either. I mean, first of all, you're basically signing up for perpetual poverty. That's not a good idea. Says here, ICANN controls everything on the internet. Internet President Goran Marby told the Ukraine government his organization had no authority to enact such a request. I'm not sure what's going on there. Well, I'm kind of getting tired, friends. Lesbian couple doing sexy tricks and taking requests live right now on YouTube. That'll be popular. The church was able to cancel $3.3 million of medical debt for things to say. Kane Cordova. Okay, they deliver pizza out there? Buffering. No, they don't deliver pizza out here. My nearest pizza would be 60 miles away, one way. Well, let's do a wrap up here. I want to thank everybody. Dream Bully, Big Brain Content, Greek, Ralph, Space Shuttle, Brody, Katie Bulldog Mom, Mega Blamp. All right, friends. See you later.